What's happening? It's your boy SymbolicSportsaholic bringing you another great edition of NFL Weekly Prediction. Alright guys, I just want to start off by discussing an issue that needs to be resolved. I can't believe the call that I've just witnessed, especially on national TV. These refs are catastrophic. We as fans got robbed in that game, and I'm honestly pissed right now. If I were these refs, I would be headed on a plane to Japan right now and be changing my name because there's no reason why an angry mob of cheeseheads should shove pitchforks up the ref's asshole. The fact that this was reviewed and still a blown call just blows my mind. If I were not a diehard NFL fan and just a common viewer, I would never watch the NFL again. Roger Goodell needs to pull his thumb out of his ass and give the real refs what they want. If he is unwilling to do so, I hope he is voted out or murdered by cheeseheads. Alright, sorry to go off like that. It's just my opinion, and I'll stick by it. This is a disgrace to the great sport of football. And I'd also like to say that last week's picks were terrible because of this. There were a lot of blown calls, a lot of overtime thrillers, last game winning field goals. It was crazy. But let's talk about the Steelers game. I was there, and it was a lot of fun. We lost at the last minute, but it was a high-scoring thriller. I had a lot of fun. I met some cool people there. And, yeah, so it was a lot of fun. And good win, Raiders. I wish you the best. We have a bye week this week. Thank God we need to get our shit together. Alright, and here's my picks. This week we have the Browns at the Ravens. The Ravens are going to run all over the Browns. The Browns coaching staff is terrible. Trent Richardson can't carry that team by himself. The Ravens are really solid offensively. They have a balanced attack. They're still pretty good on defense, although they're getting old like the Steelers. But the Ravens should handle the Browns easily here. Alright. Yeah. Next we have the Patriots and the Bills. New England is still a strong team and also had a controversial call to what I consider one of the best teams in the league, the Baltimore Ravens. The Bills are going to have to start a third string back. Fred Jackson might be back, I don't know. But the Bills gave up 48 points to a Jets team on defense. I still can't get over that. This is my lock pick of the week, but there could be an upset. I don't know, but I'm going with the Patriots on this one. Next we have the Chargers and the Chiefs. I'd like to start by saying Philip Rivers had a bad week last week, but I think he'll pick it up. Ryan Matthews might pick it up too. Their defense is still good. I think they can beat this Chiefs team. Jamal Charles is a great back, but I mean, he played Saints defense last week. I don't know if it's going to happen again. We'll see. But I'm going with the Chargers. I'm still a believer in them, but that could change this week. Alright, next we have the 49ers and the Jets. The Niners should bounce back and destroy the Jets. The Jets barely got past a Miami team after having one of the worst wins I've ever seen, other than the Monday night game, of course. But, yeah, so I look to see that the Jets will struggle a lot against this team. The Jets have already been struggling. I think they're overrated. The 49ers just had a lucky loss, I guess. Next we have the Seahawks and the Rams. The Seahawks demolished the Rams in all three meetings last year. They met twice because of division, and then they met once in the playoffs and won two. And I don't see anything changing from that. The Seahawks have improved and has a vicious defense with tall corners, and let's not forget they had 8 sacks against Green Bay. Plus the Rams offensive player are a little banged up, but I'm definitely rolling with Seattle. Next we have the Panthers and the Falcons. The Falcons play great at home. This is one of the best teams in the league right now. Their offense and defense are both starting to click, and the Panthers are cold right now. Nothing Cam Newton's done so far this season leads me to believe that he can beat this Falcons team. I say the Falcons roll. And change my last Bills pick as the lock of the week. This one's the lock of the week for sure. Atlanta's going to go 4-0, and they'll likely be 3 games up in their division. Next we have the Vikings and the Lions. The Vikings upset the 49ers last week, but talent-wise, I think the Lions are a much better team. They should win this game. The Vikings barely got past Jacksonville, and then they beat 49ers, which makes no sense to me. But I like the Lions. It's really hard to pick them. But they have one of the best secondaries in the game, and Mikel Ashore's back. If Matt Stafford doesn't play like shit, they could easily win. Alright, next we have the Titans and the Texans. Titans looked a lot better last week, but Jake Locker still has more rushing yards than Chad Johnson. So remember the Titans, neither do I. The Texans have proven themselves, and I think Shab's ear will be wanting revenge after that last game. But yeah, the Houston is easily one of the best teams as well in the league. I see them being huge Super Bowl contenders this year. Next, we have the Bengals and the Jags. As much as I want the Jags to win, I'm taking the bungholes. I like the way they passed the ball to A.J. Green last week. If they chew up the clock and get some turnovers on defense, they can easily win. The teams both struggle defensively, but I don't think Blaine Gabbert has it in him to win this game. Unless he uses the Mercedes Lewis glitch, but it's not Madden, so it's not happening. Alright, next we have the Cardinals and the Dolphins. South Beach Finns are going to the desert to face off against the Red Hot Cards. The Cards have proven themselves. Kevin Cobb has improved. They've been playing solid offensively. I wouldn't say solid, but defensively, man, they're looking like top 5 defense so far. I don't know how this team's made it so far, but I look for them to continue here, even though the Dolphins are really good. But I think Reggie Bush might not be playing, so they're going to struggle. Now we have the Raiders at Mile High. If this game wasn't in Denver, I'd maybe consider it a few times. But I like the Broncos' chances here. They have a balanced attack and defense. They play well under pressure, and they're at home in a desperate need for a win. I don't see them going 1-3 to start the season, so I'm going with Denver. Peyton Manning will start picking it up, maybe. Alright, now we have the Redskins and the Buccaneers. The Skins, I like the Skins in this one. I'd like to start by saying Greg Schiano is a douchebag, but besides that, the Skins should roll. The Bucs were pathetic last week. Josh Freeman had 33% pass percentage, and they're statistically the worst offense in the league. Tampa can upset, but I think the Skins will prevail. So I'm going with the Skins. Next we have the Saints and the Packers. Now we have last year's 2 best quarterbacks facing off in Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. It makes me sad seeing the Saints struggle like this, but their defense will only stop the ball if the refs pick on Green Bay again. I think Green Bay will find a rhythm and win this game. This will be a high-scoring game, but Packers are all-around more solid defensively. So I'm taking the Packers. Unfortunately, the Saints will start 0-4. Makes me sad. Next, we have the Giants and the Eagles. These teams match up very well together. And I loved what the Giants did last week against the Panthers. If they keep it up and the Eagles continue to struggle with turnovers, the Giants should win this game. I'm taking the Giants. Eli Manning has over 1,000 yards. Andre Brown's playing good. And let's face it, Andy Reid needs to leave. I think they need to get rid of him before they get rid of Vic. Next we have the Bears on Monday Night Football going up against Dallas at home. I'm not a believer in really either of these teams, but it depends on which team shows up. These teams are both bipolar, but I'm going with Dallas at home, and I can't honestly tell you why. It's a coin flip game, but I just like what they're doing in Dallas. I think they have a good chance to go win their division. All right, keep it 100, Woodies. You heard me.